Crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I posted it to my blog the other day and I was asked if I could demonstrate exactly how I did the tearing process. So I'm going to change my colour scheme up. This is the second take from my video and I felt that the DSP that I've used here is too dark for you to see properly how I'm actually tearing it, so I've changed my colour scheme. I'm using a nice light one this time. So the card pieces you're going to need, I'm using very vanilla, and this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4. That's 21 centimetres by 14.5, scored and folded in the middle. A piece of crumb cake which measures 4 inches by 5 5/8, and that's 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. And then I have another layer of Whisper White. No, that's Habit, that is. This is very vanilla and it measures 3 7/8 by 5.5 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then my Designer Series paper, it's from the Going Places Designer Series paper stack. I have one piece that measures 3/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches, which is 2 centimetres by 10.25 centimetres. Another piece of the DSP which measures 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches, which is 4.5 by 10.25 centimetres. And then one small piece of very vanilla which measures 1 1/4 by 2.5, which is 3.25 centimetres by 6.5 centimetres. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the images. Now I've done this so that it looks as if it's one stamp and it just goes from side to side. But it doesn't, it's 3 stamps there. The stamp set that I'm using is in the Meadow. This is one of the new ones in our spring catalogue, and I'm going to use the deer, the trees and the grass. So I'm going to stamp the deer. I want it about 1 3/4 inches up, but in the centre. So what I do is I line this up on my grid paper. I put that at 1 1/4, so I know that I've got 3/4 of an inch here and then another inch, so I know I've got to line it up approximately round about there somewhere. It doesn't have to be absolutely precise. As you can see, I do have some lee room here to play if it went a bit high, a bit low, which is just as well, because if I can't lean over it because of the video, I'm still with a good chance of getting it right. Okay, so that's about 1 3/4 inches high. It's approximately halfway, or at least in the centre, so I've got the same gap either side. There we go. Really, really beautiful image. And then I'm going to do the trees. Now with this one, with this bottom bit of the tree, let's see, right, okay, there, I lined that up, first of all with that black mark there, and I get this part of the tree just to go very, very slightly over that deer's bottom, and then I know I will finish up with a gap between the tree and him. What I suggest to people in my classes is that they try this on their scrap paper first, so they get an idea of lining it up. Okay, so I've lined the base up. It's this bit here that comes round by the deer's bottom, the round bit. So that's lined up, and that's just touching on his bottom. So hopefully There we go, that's left a really nice gap. So when I do the other side, I'm going to line the base of my stamp up with that thick black line there, and then the edge of the tree I'm going to get just onto his leg here, about 2/3 of the way up, I suppose, to the bend in his leg, his knee, I suppose. So that's the bottom lined up, and now the tree, I'm just taking over his leg. So I can still see the top third of his knee going up as far as his knee. I can still see the top third of his leg going up to his knee. That's nice. Good gap. And now I'm just going to use a grass because I want to make this come off the edge both sides so it does look like one image. And all I'm doing is lining up the edge of my stamp there onto those two pieces, and that should be about right. It's easier when I can get my head over the camera, but that should be okay. There we go, that's fine. And then again this side, get my stamp to cover up the last two pieces of grass, and then on top of it. There we go. So it all flows really nicely. Okay, so now we're going to do the tearing piece. I don't think I need my scrap of paper now. I just find that if I keep this sheet clean, it's less interference with what you can see. Okay, so I'm going to do this piece first, and this sort of fits in the gap. Okay. What I do is I use both sets of my fingers like this, and this fingernail here acts as the guide to which direction I'm tearing in. So I put my fingernail down onto my cardstock, and with this one I pull it towards me. Okay, so the first bit actually tears right up against that nail. So right, that's got it starting. Now I'm going to do one coming along towards me. Now I'm going to turn my fingernail down so that my tear goes down. Okay, if I can show you that. See how that's gone down? Now I'm going to put my fingernail straight and tear it straight. I'm going to do another straight one, making sure that the end of the last tear is against my fingernail. Okay, so I've done two straight ones now. So I'm going to go down again, and it's pulling against my fingernail, and then I'll go down, not quite so sharp this time. And now I'm going to go straight. Now I'll go up, so my fingernail is pointing upwards now, and up again. Okay, so you see how that works. If you just use your fingernail as your guide all the way along and just changing the directions of it, it will change the direction of your tear. Depends on how much of ups and downs you want. If you want them a little bit or lots. Normally I wouldn't go for something quite as deep as that, but it's going to be fine. Okay, so all the way along I have just been up and down against my fingernail. Okay, I'll show you this piece. This piece is quite thin, and you may decide, although you want the same layout as mine, you may want a thicker piece to actually work with. Right, okay, so I've got my fingers in position again, and I'm going to start tearing. Okay, so all the time it's just against my fingernail. I'm going to start going down a bit now, and go along, up, up, Now we're getting a bit close to the edge, making it very difficult to tear. So let's go straight, and we go down now. There we go. It gets easier the further away you get from the edge. But once you've done this a few times, it just becomes second nature, just to make sure that you're tearing against your fingernail all the time. There we go. See? And you'll see that you've got the white edge of the tear all the way along here. It's a lot better when you've got it on a dark sheet like this. The white is a lot more obvious. But I needed to use a light paper so that you could see exactly what I was doing. Okay, so I'm now going to adhere these two pieces to my card, just making sure that these are flat. Okay, so I will use my silicone mat, and I'm going to use my Tombow. So I just go round the outside, leaving a little bit of a gap. I certainly don't go right to the edge. Tweezers. Let's move that one out first. Now the measurements I've given you will allow some to come off one side or the other, and the reason I do that is so that you can have a look at these two edges. If there's one that you don't like, then you've got a chance to get rid of it, and it's normally this end that I don't like, so I am going to get rid of that. So I'm going to line that up. Oops, it's got stuck to my tweezers now. Let go. Okay, so I'm going to line that up, make sure I can't see any very vanilla showing through. Turn it over. Obviously you need to do this quickly. That's it. So there's none hanging over there. Now before I cut that off, I'm going to put the other piece on. And again, if there's one end that I don't like, I've got a chance to get rid of it now. It's normally the one that I start the tearing off by that I don't like. Okay. So have a look. Is there one that you don't like? Well, not that I don't like it, but I definitely prefer that one. So let's put that one down. We keep all of that. Make sure that's nice and straight. Turn it over. Yes, beautiful. Okay, so that's all nicely adhered down. I'm going to cut these two pieces off. Do it from the reverse side. I'm stuck to my finger now. Right, okay. These two pieces are really too small to do anything with, but obviously on this piece the torn edge is on the reverse side. If you used larger pieces, these two would finish up, that you would be able to use them as long as you had a design on the opposite side that you liked. Right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of our linen thread, wrap it around 3 times, and I need about 22 inches, so that's which is 55 centimetres I believe, so that's about there. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put some snail on the outside edges. I'm going to put one end on there, bring it around. I'm going to put it down towards the bottom, turn it over. I'll have to go up a bit because my snail doesn't come right the way down. Okay, that's fine. And then across there. Just get the two of them to cross over. There we go, that looks good. I like that. Okay, a little bit too much there. So I'm just going to cut the excess off. Now I'm going to adhere my card together. Again, I'm going to be using Tombow. Oops, that's come undone. Just check that it still looks alright from that side. Yes, it does. Okay. Now when I do this, I like to put a little bit of glue on the linen thread as well, so that gets doubly adhered down. Came out a little bit quick there, didn't it, at the bottom? Oh, not that one. There we go. Now I'm going to, you hear my elbow crack then? Right, let's go to put some more Tombow on here. We put this onto the actual card base. Go. I think it looks equally nice with the lighter colour. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is the sentiment, and this is coming from the Wetlands stamp set, and I'm using the birthday greetings here, which is this one. And I'm going to use the Archival ink again. In fact, I've got a little tip to show you as well. Let me do this bit, then I'll show you. There we go. Now, if you're like me and you don't put your pictures on the back of your stamps, so in your stamp set you finish up with your sheets, to find the easy way of finding out whether your punch is going to fit the sentiment or not, like this one here, if you take your sheet and just put it like that, you can see whether it's going to fit or not. I was having a look, because I've done some with Thinking of You and some with Birthday Greetings. I wanted to know whether that one would fit or not, because that looks quite a bit bigger. And of course it doesn't fit on this one, but then I tried it with this, which is the washi tape punch, and it fitted in beautifully with that. So there's a nice quick tip. There are other ways of setting up a system so that you can check easily, which one day I'll share with you, but that was just a little quick one for today. Okay, so I'm going to punch this out with my large oval punch. That fits in beautifully. Then I'm going to adhere it with two dimensionals. But when you do this bit, do make sure that you don't stick your dimensionals over your, don't make it stick actually onto the linen thread. You must get it in between the strands. Okay, so I want mine to go there. So what I do is once I've got it in position, and I have a look, see where the linen thread is, and then just move it out of the way. So that's out. In fact, that one's gone down perfectly okay. Yeah, that one's gone down. There we go. So nice, easy, quick card for today. And I have to say I'm quite pleased with the way it's come out with the light colour. I didn't think I was going to like it, but no, it's good. And even going that big dip down there, that's turned out well as well. That's okay. Anyway, many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'm always happy to help. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, please click on the 24/7 link that's in the details below, and that will take you to my online Stampin' Up shop. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.